When creating a video about the oldest countries in the world, it's a pretty difficult topic to approach because you have to determine how oldness is measured. So would it be measured by diving into the ancient history of the ancient world and then establishing where those civilizations began? You see, the problem with measuring oldness using this method is that not always did these civilizations live in the countries that we now know exist today. Also, territorial and political boundaries of these countries have undergone a lot of changes since ancient times. There's a second way to measure a country's oldness, and this would be by the year it gained its independence. So to create this video on the oldest countries and nations in the world, first we had to decide which indicators of oldness to choose from. So for this video, our goal was to compile a list of the oldest countries in the world and not to rank them from oldest based on their independence, because that would be a completely different video. How's it going, everybody? My name is Leroy Kenton, and thanks for coming back to another episode of FTD Facts. If you are proud of your nation where you come from, give this video a thumbs up. And for all you newcomers here to FTD Facts, hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss future videos like this. Okay, so let's begin with the first nation. I'm introducing the nation of Greece, and they date back to 3000 BC. Ancient temples and ruins still connect modern Greece to ancient Greece, although the modern version was not founded until 1832. You see, the Greek civilization was Europe's first advanced civilization, with the capital city of Athens seeing the world's first democratic system, and this was back in the year 508 BCE. Next nation I want to look at is the country of Iran. While Iran has only existed in a recognizable form since the beginning of the 16th century, the area has a longer history of civilization than almost anywhere in the entire world. The Bronze Age Elamite civilization was one of the first to develop the cuneiform writing in the 3rd millennia BCE, and the Proto-Iranian groups were already arriving in the area in the 2nd millennium BCE. The Achaemenid Empire, which existed from the year 550 BCE to 330 BCE, was the biggest empire that the world has ever seen. Now moving on to San Marino. Now I'm throwing this nation in just as a bonus because I found it pretty interesting, and why not? San Marino is the 3rd smallest country in Europe. It is, however, undeniably one of the oldest countries in the entire world, as it was founded in 301 CE. A stonemason, Marinus, who would eventually become Saint Marinus, came from his home in what is now known as Croatia to escape persecution for his Christian beliefs and founded the country as a republic. While San Marino is fairly unique, now existing as a microstate, it reflects a long tradition of small city-states in the continent of Europe. Now moving on to China, who dates back to 2100 BC. It's believed that the Shao dynasty was the first dynasty to ever exist in China because there's no real evidence of any earlier one. However, the first dynasty recorded in the contemporary writing system, which is known as the Oracle Bone Script, was the Shang dynasty, and they date back to 1600 BC. Nowadays, the country celebrates its founding year as 221 BCE, but many dynasties have come and gone since China's inception. Among its oldest buildings are the Nanshan Temple, and the country's oldest preserved timber building is the Great Buddha Hall. So the next country we're looking at is the country of Ethiopia, dating back to 3000 BC. When we go way further back, before the formation of nations and countries, some of the oldest hominid fossils have been found in Ethiopia. Evidence shows from ancient Egyptian texts that it was one of Egypt's biggest trading partners, which, as we know, is one of the oldest countries and civilizations in the world. Ancient Egyptian texts also names Ethiopia in some of their documents. Ethiopia is also the only African country that was never colonized by any European country, as they were able to defeat all of their invading forces. Now, as I just mentioned, the country of Egypt. King Menes started this country and also started a reign of pharaohs that ruled the country for over 3,000 years. And while the modern country of Egypt is in many ways far detached from ancient Egypt has shaped many of the sites that you'll see if you go to Egypt when you visit on a holiday, let's say. Also, Egyptian hieroglyphics is the world's second oldest writing system after cuneiform, and it appeared on the scene around 3200 BCE. The modern state of Egypt did not appear until the 20th century, when the Egyptians finally threw off the British rule in 1952. However, predating all of the countries in this episode, the ancient Egyptian civilization is worth a mention for its pyramids, its sphinx, as well as its religious monuments. It's just a beautiful, magnificent place. It's always fascinated me, and I've never been to Egypt, but I studied ancient Egypt in school. I started learning how to read some hieroglyphics. I don't think I remember anything. Whether you believe that Egypt was the oldest nation or not, it's still a very fascinating country with an interesting history. So there you have it. This was your video on the oldest countries in the entire world. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have any additional information that you wanted to add, so join in on the conversation. You can also find me on social media. Those links are below in this video description as well, and I'll see you guys real soon in another episode. Hey everyone, and if you enjoyed this video, you gotta check out our playlist about the different countries and cultures from all around the world. We dive a lot into the history and the cultural richness of each nation, so you don't want to miss any of these episodes. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in each and every week for new episodes, and I'll see you real soon.